This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, November 8th. I'm Tori here with Erica and Al, and we are so grateful that you all are joining us today. I'm sure a lot of you saw this. If not, there was a mass casualty event at a concert in Houston on Friday night. 8 people were killed and dozens more were injured when crowds surged, crushing fans, trampling others at rapper Travis Scott's Astroworld festival. During the concert, some fans attempted to get the attention of staff, begging them to stop the show. She's saying someone's dead down there, someone's dead down there. In another video posted, you can see emergency personnel helping someone while Travis Scott continued to perform. Travis released a video statement right after the tragedy. Let's take a look at what he said.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening. My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience.
Kylie Jenner was also at the show with her 3-year-old daughter, Stormy. In a statement, Kylie said, quote, "I want to make it clear we were not aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing." Now, at one point during the show, Travis did stop, seemed to react to an ambulance that you can see there, trying to get through to the crowd, but then he continued to perform. Now, there are reports that say the show went on for nearly 40 minutes while police and firefighters responded to the emergency. So let's just take a moment for the 8 people that died instead of rushing into like who to blame. That's a huge loss at a concert. No one should ever feel fearful at a concert. What do you guys think is responsible? Who do you think is responsible? What are your thoughts, Al?
It's tough. You know, I know people are going at Travis Scott because he's the person that's on the stage, but we have to remember that this has happened before. We had the White Snake tragedy in 2003, where I believe there were 100 fatalities. You know, there was a Who concert in 1979, 11 people died. The Woodstock reboot in 1999.
3 people died.
Yeah, and there was also sexual assaults, looting, and over 1,000 injuries. So whenever you have a lot of people in a confined space, and let's keep it 100, those people are almost to a man and woman on some kind of performance enhancing substance. This is going to happen from time to time. I don't know if this is on Travis Scott as a performer because he's contractually there to perform, but there are people in place that should be there, security, paramedics that should be ready to respond, and I feel like they dropped the ball.
Well, I feel like everyone has to work together, you know, concert promoters with security, with the artists. Everyone has to have the same messaging. You brought up the example of the 100 people perishing during the White Snake concert.
Great White Snake.
That was because protocol was ignored. And when you have
400 people in a 250 people venue.
Well, but also the pyrotechnics, like they ignored what the safety measures were. So anytime you have one part of this entire chain that's not going with the program in terms of what safety measures should be, that's problematic. And I think altogether, people share a joint responsibility in anything that happens at a show that they have their name on. People are bringing up the fact that I think the big problem is Travis has been arrested twice.
Correct.
For ignoring or
Correct.
telling fans to ignore security. And I don't know if any of you have ever gone to a concert where an artist has said that, but like it doesn't matter where your seat is at that point. I've been in that position and it was quite alarming.
Let me show really quick the promo video to show you that this is the promotional video for Astroworld, okay? And we want to have you look at this to see if you think this also encourages some of the mayhem that Erica's talking about. He was arrested, Travis Scott, in 2015, then 2017. He has this whole aesthetic about rebellion, pushing through the guardrails. He seems to want that at his concerts. And here is a video that went viral yesterday of what I think should have happened. This is Lincoln Park stopping a show when one person was on the ground that they could see. Take a look at this video.
Hey, yo, hold up. We got a little problem up here.
Pick him up right
Everybody
now.
up. We gotta look out for safety first, for real. Nobody gets hurt.
When someone falls, what do you do? That's right, people.
Okay, so I'm not trying to like bash Travis Scott. There's more than one person involved, including that camera guy, security. But at what point do you say people are dead? There's video of him rapping and there's someone unconscious 50 feet away. At one point in your own humanity, do you say like, oh my God, there's been a problem here? I'm not putting it all on him, but if you were performing and something like that happened, would you stop?
Well, that's what's so strange about this, Erica. You were talking about protocol being in place. I have performed on cruise ships. I've performed in large venues, and they tell you ahead of time if somebody's being a problem. Security will come get them. They'll give you a code phrase like, hey, this guy needs a cup of coffee. That lets them know, and that way you can keep the show going. Because also we have to remember that if the show stops with 50,000 people, that could cause a riot too. And so we're kind of in this situation where we're, in trouble if we do and in trouble if we don't. I don't know if I can say the D word. So, those are my thoughts. Eric, I want to hear from you.
Well, I think, the Lincoln Park example is definitely hindsight 2020. Obviously, we're going to be seeing this, and I hope that we see this more when it comes to large groups, making sure that we're at least looking out for one another and not trampling each other. And also, just to be clear, too, from a lot of the eyewitness testimony, there was so little room that trampling was the only way that some people could get out. They were talking about how if you put your arms up in the air, you weren't able to put them back down. That's how
they said you were drowning
sardined
in people.
You are. And people bring up examples like Beyonce's concert. There were some issues of people passing out, or there was an issue of someone, and we're talking about like maybe one or two, and they refused because people were pushing forward. They refused to even start the show.
Wow.
So I do think that, the artist does have a lot of power there. But in terms of that example with Lincoln Park, that should be something that we should have always seen. But now it's very high alert time.
Very true. All right, as we mentioned, 8 people did die. Here's what we know about the victims.
And it was Great White, not
Great
White
White.
Snake.
Yeah, Great White. That's
Sorry,
right.
White Snake.
Yes.
Great band.
All right, the range and age of those victims were from 14 to 27. 14. One young woman, Brianna Rodriguez, was 16 years old, and her parents shared on her GoFundMe page that she loved to dance. We don't yet know the specific causes of death, but with underage children among the dead and injured, there are some questions about whether it's safe for parents to leave their children unsupervised at these giant festivals.
It's not.
It's not safe.
It's not safe. And look, as a parent, I have to always decide the safety, the risk versus reward, because I can't keep my child in a bubble either, Eric. I have to let them go out and be part of this world, even if we're baby stepping it. But when I do send my daughter or my son to his or her first concert, I'm not going to sleep that night because I know what happens because I've been at concerts. So I know what's going down.
Yeah, this is so
sad.
It's
very
next
nuanced.
level.
Yeah.
It's very next level.
Large groups of people acting unpredictably in a confined space.
But there has to be somebody in charge to say stop. And they went to security, cameraman, Travis Scott. Ambulances were literally in Kylie Jenner's video. How come no one said stop? Stop the show. There's dead people.
I understand. I get it.
I know.
But I'm
not saying this on you.
A lot of these things are very poorly coordinated as well. Like when you watch the documentary on the Woodstock, and you'll see people didn't know what to do. When you don't have plans in place for things going wrong, this is what happened.
And apparently the head of security did talk to the band and security to say, this is how a crowd surges. This is how you can get trampled. This can happen to the barricades. They were warned. They were warned. It just bothers me. It makes me so sad. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims' families. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Yeah, one thing, Tori, do you know the actual capacity?
Yeah, so it was up to, I think, over 100,000, but they had 50. Yeah, but it's 50,000 people were there. 8 people were dead. 11 people went into cardiac arrest, and one security officer felt, as he was going to help stop, a prick in his neck. This is coming from cops in Houston PD. He felt a prick. He then went unconscious. When they tried to rouse him, they found a prick mark and used Narcan. He was then aroused from the Narcan, meaning he was speculatively, allegedly injected with some kind of narcotic. We don't know at all if that's at all part of this, but TMZ was reporting many people are injected. So far we know of one, a security guard that was raised with Narcan after being injected with something in his neck. The rest of it, as Eric was saying, is like people were like drowning. Like you went down and there are people on top of that person, on top of that person, and there's piles. It happens in Mecca a lot when people make the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, with large groups. I've studied this in a weird way because I've always wondered about crowd surging, and the panic starts, and then it even gets worse and worse.
Games,
yes, after games. Remember that in Britain there was a UK concert where people were pushed up against a fence, and the barriers can contain a lot of power, but the people can't. You're getting crushed, so they don't break. So someone had to say stop. And again, I don't want to put it on anyone, but it's shocking how many people refuse to stop.
I have
That's
a friend
what
that worked for Live
got
Nation, and she said that they find people that are dead from overdoses all the time.
Wow.
All the time. It's young people taking drugs from random people in the middle of the daytime. Like, this happens quite often.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
But the surging of the crowd thing needs to be controlled. I mean, if we're going to have crowds, we have to know how to control them.
Right. I mean, there was video footage out early of
Barrier.
crowds going through barriers. So it was before the concert even started.
Like
it was
rushing
out of
through, you
control.
saw that too, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The whole thing is... Welcome back to DBL. So NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers is still coming under fire after he revealed he wasn't vaccinated. Of course, this is all after he claimed he was immunized. Speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron said...
McAfee.
Did I say McAfee?
Yeah, no,
did I say
said,
McAfee?
Yeah.
I always worry about that.
That's my homie.
Pat McAfee?
Yeah, I've known him forever.
Oh, wow. Hi, homie. Aaron said he did not get any of the vaccines because of health concerns. Take a quick look.
I'm not... some sort of anti-vax flat earther. I am somebody who's a critical thinker. You guys know me. I march to the beat of my own drum. I believe strongly in bodily autonomy and the ability to make choices for your body.
But SNL couldn't resist taking some shots, no pun intended, at Aaron with Pete Davidson playing the quarterback. Take a look.
Did you ever lie about being vaccinated?
I never lied. I took all my teammates into a huddle, got all their faces 3 inches away from my wet mouth, and told them, trust me, I'm more or less immunized. Go team.
On Sunday, Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan also called Aaron out for essentially lying about his vaccination status. Take a look at this.
I understand immunized. What you were doing was taking stuff that would keep you from getting COVID-19. You got COVID-19. Ivermectin is a cattle dewormer. Sorry, folks, that's what it is. We've got players that pretty much think only about themselves, and I'm extremely disappointed in the actions of Aaron Rodgers.
In the grand scheme of things, it's deceptive and it's wrong, and the presentation that he did not help.
Erica, what do you think about all this?
You know, I respect critical thinkers. I respect people who are flexible in thought. But when you are one of those people, you have to also engage with other people who think like you. Just be honest about the critical side of your thinking. I think the idea of trying to tiptoe around this whole conversation was really where he stepped in it.
I agree.
And now he's trying to backtrack. So allow people to critically and flexibly think about what you're saying.
I agree. I have a hard time, though, and maybe you guys can tell me, I have a hard time when you say I'm a critical thinker. When I hear people reject science, I have a hard time with that being a personal choice. Like, that's, your critical thinking makes you think you're better and smarter than doctors and scientists. I have a hard time with that. I do want people to have autonomy over their body, but does that make sense?
Well, there's a lot of people that distrust the healthcare system because it is something that is based in profit, so there would be tested or assigned.
And there's
that
evidence.
May be, unnecessary. But I think what you're saying, which is so brilliant, is like no one wants to play semantics when you're playing with my life. Don't say like I'm immunized technically if, I didn't say I was vaccinated.
Right.
I said I had been to a hospital and there were needles there. Like, we don't want to play that when I have to go home and talk to my son and kiss my daughter. So what he did was extremely selfish, and we've seen this how many years on the show, people will not just admit that they were wrong. Yeah. It's always, but I did say this, and I kind of was, the cover up was always worse than a lie, and this is what he's learning over and over again because he's doubling and tripling down. He
sure is. Let us know what you guys think on YouTube, our Facebook, our app, and our dailyblastlive.com website. Our interview with Maury Povich, that Maury, is next. We'll be right back.
President Biden made a comparison to last Thanksgiving and claimed wages have grown more than inflation in the United States.
This Thanksgiving, we're all in a very different circumstance. Things are a hell of a lot better, and the wages have gone up higher, faster than inflation, and we have generated real economic growth.
So let's verify. Have wages grown more than inflation since last Thanksgiving? Our sources are the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Bureau of Economic Analysis. The Federal Reserve is the central bank of the U.S. It defines inflation as, quote, the increase in prices of goods and services over time, unquote. There are two indexes widely used to measure inflation in the U.S., the CPI, or Consumer Price Index, and the PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures. The CPI reflects out-of-pocket expenditures of all urban households, while the PCE Price Index also includes goods and services purchased on behalf of households. That includes things like medical care services paid for by an employer and by the government. The Federal Reserve says it tracks the CPI, but primarily measures inflation by the PCE Price Index. So we're going to use that. To measure the change in wages, Verify analyzed the Bureau of Labor Statistics data of average hourly earnings for private workers. We compared the rise in inflation with the rise in wages from November 2020 through September 2021. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, average wages rose from $29.61 an hour in November of 2020 to $30.85 an hour in September of 2021. That's a 4.18% increase. Data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis shows that the PCE price index increased 4.33% in the same time frame. So while wages have increased since last Thanksgiving, we can verify, no, wages have not grown more than inflation since last Thanksgiving.
Oh boy. In the case of 4-month-old Kaylee Tyler, you are not the father.
Welcome back to DBL. He's a pop culture icon that has been serving up lie detectors and paternity tests in America's living rooms for 30 years. In fact, The Maury Show is the longest running daytime television show in history. Earlier, we were lucky enough to talk to Maury Povich. Take a look.
Thank you. Wow. Nice reception. Thank you.
You're welcome. We are all fans.
I get a better reception from you than I do my guests. That's good.
Well, listen, you have 9 million followers in social media. So not only are you owning broadcast, but you're also owning social. Even Kanye is rapping about you. You're everywhere. So what's the secret? Because I'm barely, slowly growing my social media. So how do you get continued popularity over generations? Tell us.
Well, you know, I think more than anything else, people on our show, I mean, it doesn't matter whether we condense, for instance, our segments into 4-minute segments, which we do, and throw them all on our social media platforms. But the thing is that you can get all of these stories involved in conflict and drama and lust and betrayal and all the great Shakespearean themes, and we can reduce them to the point where we've got a result. We're going to find out whether it's true or not.
There's
and
a
I
payoff.
think that's more than anything else what the audience enjoys.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a true payoff.
Yep.
Maury, I'm going to just ask you a personal question here. Have you ever been offered money to do a birth announcement for somebody?
That's so good.
That's really smart.
That's a great idea.
I've had a lot of people, you know, to tell me, you know, can you please do a selfie with me and say I'm the father or I'm not the father? I get a lot of that.
If I had a kid on the way, I'd make you do it right now.
Yeah.
You can always fall back on that.
I mean, we live in New York City, you know, and if you walk down the street and a construction worker on a scaffolding looks down at me and says, hey, Maury, can you tell me I'm not the father? I say, okay.
So, Maury, you also act, too. You've been in a few daytime, or not daytime, primetime roles.
Yeah.
But you play yourself. Is that something you want to get into more?
Well, I'll tell you about playing myself. Years and years ago, there was this young movie director who had this movie out called Jaws, and his name was Steven Spielberg, and I was doing a local show in Washington in the late 1960s, and he comes on the show and he looks at me and he says, "You have an interesting face. You ever thought about doing auditions?" And I said, "No, because I only got one act, and this is it. This is my only face. This is my only role."
This is it.
You could have been somebody, Maury.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
He turned down Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that's a good party.
Well, no, well, at that point, Steven Spielberg hadn't been a big name, so, but didn't. All it took was one movie, right?
Yeah. Right. Na.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, we're moving on.
Sorry, Maury.
I have the hard question, Maury. You were beloved, but you also have some critics that claim the show exploits your guests in a way, and I would love for you to take the floor and say, what do you say to them?
It's very simple, okay? We do these themes like paternity testing for a reason. We all know it's very easy. If you have a child and you have two parents in that child's life, he or she has a better chance for a future. If it's one parent, that child has less of a chance. And so if we can get guys, for instance, who deny being the fathers of their children, and they are proved to be the fathers on the show, that child's got a better chance. And better than that, I mean, to take it one step further, since we've been on the air so long, these stories now, these infants are teenagers. They are into college, and we find out whether the father is in the life of this child or not. And in many, many cases, I'm not going to say a majority, but in many, many cases, these fathers get into the lives of these children. In fact, the woman and the man end up together and have been together for 10 or 15 years. Wow. So I rest my hat. I hang my hat on that, and I rest my case.
I love it.
Well done.
Said.
Yeah, and I hope this doesn't make me unprofessional. I just want to tell you how cool you look right now.
You're the best.
He looks like he should be like briefing me on like a Black Ops mission before I get on a Black Hawk helicopter.
Well, you all look much better. You all look much better than I do.
No, you
In fact,
look cool.
I'll tell you, most of my career, I was wearing that jacket and car.
Well, good for you. You're chilling now. And like, I've always wondered this, like, do you take a sneak peek at the paternity test before the big reveal?
Yeah, right?
And like, which one, is there one that like really sticks out in your mind?
Well, first of all, it's a good question. The first time I was ever brought the theme of the show being paternity testing, and the producer is briefing me the way you're briefed before every show, and we're going through the story and everything, and she says, "Well, now the result." And I said, "You know, I don't want to know the result. If I knew the result, that means I'd skew the questions. I don't want to know anything more than my guests know, my audience, my live audience, my at-home audience. I want to be an extension of them. I want to be able to ask questions that they would want to ask." And so that's how I feel that my job is to ask those questions anybody would want to ask, so that those big answers that I've given through the last 20-some years with these themes, you are the father, you are not. The inflection comes because I'm as excited with the result as anybody.
That makes sense.
And so, you know, I have no way of faking it. I mean, there's no fake news when it comes to me. And so when I read the result, I'm learning for the first time. And as far as the craziest paternity story we've ever had, woman comes on and accuses a guy of being the father of her twins. And I open up the result and I look at my staff. I said, "Is there something wrong here?" I said, "Why?" I said, "He's the father of one, but not the other."
Whoa! And that's possible?
Scientifically
That'll
possible.
do it.
Wow. Oh, you have seen
fraternal twins.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you, Maury.
Get ready
Gotta
for
come back.
family
Thank you all.
drama
Good to see
on
you.
season 24 of The Maury Show. Thanks, Maury.
Bye, Maury.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
heard about ivermectin in November of 2020. A doctor in Egypt stated the anti-parasitic helped COVID patients stay alive. This report was retracted in July. Do these studies promoting ivermectin have any merit? Let's verify. question comes from 13 On Your Side viewer Nancy. She wrote, ivermectin has been used for decades and is used successfully to treat COVID patients. But is that true? Our sources for the story are the FDA, the CDC, the WHO, Dr. Del DeHart, University of Michigan's Health West infectious disease physician, and an article by James Heathers, Chief Scientific Officer at Cypher Skin.
Drugs that aren't the vaccine, are those supposed to work for COVID?
One thing we all need to be very careful about is the sell on late night TV about this worked for me, and that's never a way to do science.
The FDA and CDC say ivermectin is approved to treat parasitic worms and head lice, not a virus. The two organizations in the WHO say getting the COVID-19 vaccine is the most effective way to limit the spread of COVID-19. Dr. DeHart joins the groups and says drugs like ivermectin aren't authorized or approved for use in preventing or treating COVID-19 in humans or animals, because data simply does not show ivermectin as effective in treating COVID.
If you give massive doses of ivermectin in cell culture, you can show a very minor difference in how much COVID can infect cells. But you'd have to give a dump truck of ivermectin to get that level into people, and it would kill you before it would help.
Dr. DeHart says he fights against misinformation, much like researcher Heathers. Heathers confirmed that his team analyzed the existing ivermectin studies. A minimum of 5 were inaccurate, with 1 being withdrawn. He notes that the ones that come to a clear consensus of ivermectin works are faulty and shouldn't have been published. So no, ivermectin has not been shown to be effective in fighting or curing COVID, and scientific articles that have implied so have been discredited by scientists, doctors, and researchers. I want to be very clear. You can also overdose on ivermectin, which can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and allergic reactions. In more serious cases, seizure, coma, and even death. Doctors urge to only take the approved medicine.
Does chocolate production lead to deforestation? About half of the world's chocolate is produced in West African countries. The Ivory Coast has lost more than 80% of its forests in the last 50 years, according to the Yale School of the Environment. About 40% of the Ivory Coast's cocoa crop is grown illegally in the country's national parks and government-owned forests, according to a U.S. environmental group. Most cocoa requires full sun, so forests have to be cleared in order for the crop to grow. So we can verify, yes, chocolate production frequently leads to deforestation, which is a driver of climate change.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and Just Me wrote in, understand this didn't happen in a void. At previous concerts and on social media posts, he has urged Travis Scott fans to break through barriers and, quote, rage. And we do know he is being sued along with Drake, actually, and the venue. So we'll see what happens with this. Any updates, we'll update you. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.